Hi, Scrappy friends, and welcome to the 12 Days of Christmas series. This is my gift to you. Happy holidays to everyone. During this series, we are working our way through our Creative Memories 110 scrapbooking ideas and sketchbook. We are going to create a total of 12 double page layouts, and this is to help you conquer all of those holiday photos that are coming up. So just like we normally do, we're going to pick a sketch, a single page sketch, and we're going to stretch it into a double page layout. And today we are jumping in and starting on page 23. So here on the screen, I'm going to put the picture of the sketch we're using today, as well as the inspiration piece that is in the book. It's a Halloween sketch, but we're going to turn it into a Christmas layout. And remember, if Christmas is not your thing, you can change up the papers, use the same sketch, and it's going to come out beautiful. So don't worry about that. Just change the paper, change the collection, and you'll be fine. Okay, so let's come back to my desk and I'm going to zoom in for you so we can take a closer look at the sketch. So we look at the sketch, it has about a half a strip of paper at the top and then again down here at the bottom. Okay, so that would be the same piece of paper. The next piece is about a 1.5 inch strip of paper, and again it's at the top and it repeats down here at the bottom. So that's our second piece of pattern paper that we need. Then we have, at the top, we have a border. This is just represents a border. You can put any kind of border you want here. Use any of your border punches, your border making system, a border strip. Be very creative when it comes to that border right there. Then on the bottom, we have about a 1/4 of an inch of a strip of paper. That could either be our third piece of pattern paper, or that could also be a border sticker as well. This big part in the middle, that could either be the white background of our page, or that could be about an 8 by 12 inch block of paper. Okay, I have a 1/2 inch here and 1.5 inches here. That's 2 inches. I'm repeating that at the bottom. That's 2 inches. 2 and 2 is 4. Take that away from 12. That's how I realized this was about an 8-inch piece of paper, not counting the borders or the strip. And then you'll see we have 3 photos, and then our embellishments are all going to be in a line. Okay, I love that. That's different. So that's going to look pretty nice when we're done. I'm happy to give that a try. And then we'll have to see how we incorporate that onto our second page, if we're going to run it straight across or bring it in some other way. Okay, so that's our sketch. I will pop the sketch up in the corner once we get going. Okay, let me show you the papers that I'm going to use. So we're going to use the Joy to the World collection today. This is the designer paper pack, and then I also have embellishments to go with that later. But to be completely honest, I am running very low on this paper collection. So I am going to use this Christmas icon paper. Okay, it's very cute, very colorful. It allows me to bring in other colors as well. But because I didn't have a lot of paper left in this collection, I did have to dip into some of my other collections and look for just the right piece of paper. So I found this green striped paper in Lullaby Lane, which is our baby line. But you'll see it goes perfectly with my Joy to the World icon paper. And then I found this awesome red paper in one of the Tonal dual packs. This was the red-orange one, and this red is, again, just ever so perfect to go with that paper. Then I'm going to bring in some dark green cardstock. And from my stash, I found this wonderful, this is old school, green gingham, and this is the darker green, and I think this is my last 2 pieces, so a little bit sad about that, but I'm actually very happy to be getting this out of my stash. And then I just have some white cardstock for our background. Okay, so that's our papers. Let's go ahead and get started. So we'll go ahead and start with the first page, which we're going to keep as close to the sketch as possible. And then once we get this to a good point, we will begin our second page, okay? So for the first page, I'm going to start off using this white cardstock. The thing about this page is we could pretty much wallpaper the entire thing. And I think just for ease, that's what I want to do. But keep in mind that you could, of course, weld your papers together with washi tape or cardstock behind if you want. I think for ease, for me, it's just going to be a lot easier to go ahead and put it on a piece of white cardstock. We see in the sketch that there's the half a piece we talked about, the 1/2 inch at the top and the bottom. I'm going to use red for that. And then there's the 1.5 inch piece of paper. That's where I'm going to bring in my icon paper. So that'll be at the top and the bottom as well. And then for the centerpiece of it, the 8 by 12 piece, I was going to bring in this gingham. Okay, and the green we'll probably use for mounting and for our second page. So we'll come back to that one. So let's go ahead and get cutting our papers. We bring in my 12-inch trimmer. Okay, so we need a 1/2 inch of the red at the top, and then a 1/2 inch of red at the bottom. Our icon paper, and I don't think this is directional, so it won't matter which way we go. And we want to do 1.5 inches. And again, we need 2 of those. Okay, let's go ahead and get this lined up. Put our piece at the top, our piece at the bottom. Our 1.5 inch strip will go right under that, like this. And then we'll take this one is a little bit bigger. I believe this is probably a 9.5 inch. I'm going to probably just leave it and tuck my paper on top. And there we go. And that's going to be our basic layout design for the first page. So to bring in my photos for this layout, this will be Christmas Eve 2007. Happens to also be my nephew's birthday that day. So on this year we were celebrating his first birthday, and sorry I can't show the faces. But so my orientation of photos is going to be a little bit different. They have a 4x4 right over here, and I'm going to try to incorporate the whole 4x6, maybe trimming down a little bit if I need to. And then for this horizontal photo, I'm going to put this here, and I will probably overlap like they did. And then for the bottom photo, I'm going to trim this one down. They have a 4x4, and I can definitely trim this one down to a 4x4 as well. So that's going to be my photo layout for that. So I'm going to pause for a moment. I'm going to get my papers adhered down. I'm going to trim down my photos, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I got my papers adhered to my white cardstock, and I brought in my gray mat so that I could line up everything nicely. And I also matted each of my photos. So in the inspiration piece, they used 3 different colored photo mats. So at first I was going to use the dark green for everything, and then I decided, no, I kind of liked what they did, so I'm going to do that too. So I pulled in some more paper from the Joy to the World paper pack. So I pulled in a piece of the yellow with the ornaments, and then a piece of this turquoise with the waves. So I brought these in and decided to go ahead and map my photos with the 3 different colors, and I like it. All the colors are represented in my icon paper, so I thought, why not? It looks cute. So before I adhere these down and get these into position, I still need to work on my borders. So I thought I would do that first, okay? So what I'm gonna do for the top up here, in the inspiration piece, I liked how it was a Halloween page and they went ahead and put like leaves and vines and stuff, and I loved that idea. So I'm gonna bring in this green paper, and then I'm gonna bring in my leafy vine punch because I just love this punch and wanted to give it some more love and some more use. So I'm going to bring in this paper to cut out the vines. And it's just going to be one strip across the top. I'm going to line it up with the black line in the front and punch out a strip. And then this will lie right on top of that. Oh, I love it. That's perfect. That green paper is a perfect match. Slide this back in. Let me grab my repositionable tape runner and my clear mat here, and I'm just going to get this adhered down. Just centering it over that seam to hide that seam between the papers. Then what I'd like to do is, they have a border sticker running across there. I would like to do that as well. I'm going to bring in some old items from my stash and see if I can use anything up. I'm really being drawn to this candy cane stripe, or even just that plain stripe. Now let's go with the candy cane stripe because we have some peppermints in our paper. I do wish it was a little bit thinner. So I'm going to change my mind on that, and I'm actually going to adhere this right down here to the bottom where we need about 1/4 of an inch strip, and I think that this one is perfect for that. Back in the day, they weren't quite 12 inches because our books back then were only 11.5. So I am going to have to snip this right here. Okay, and then my picture will lay right over that little cut that doesn't stretch. There, I stretched that out. Then I want to take actually the green one, which will probably have the same problem, and kind of put it right under the candy cane stripe, just to break it up a little bit. I feel like there was a lot of red down there, so I thought let's add some green. Okay, let's turn it this way, and we'll get, again, these were a little bit on the short side, so we have to kind of, in order to use up some of these supplies, we do have to kind of play little tricks, right? So we're going to hide that cut. And then what I'm going to do up here is the hollies. I think that would be really cute. Add some more green. Now this one's going to be a little bit harder to hide the cut. So what I'm going to do is just even it out and place it down. And it'll be a little bit of a gap on each side. Okay. Now what I've done is I've mixed some of the leaves so it gives it even more of a garlandy type of look. I like that a lot. So, okay. So we got our borders done. Okay. So I am ready to commit to these photos now that I know the size of my border. Okay, so it's going to go something like that. I want to lay this one on top of that, and then this one. So I'm committed to having this one overlap because we have that opening, but I could bring it over as far as I need to. And then this one I do want to tuck in like that. And then this one I think I'll just have off to itself. I was trying to overlap it, and I just didn't like this open spot here. I didn't want this one to be at the top. So this is what I think I'm going to do. Yep, I like this one. So I'm going to have this one overlapped down here, and then overlapping the horizontal photo. This one overlapping with a very slight piece in between there, and I might even get them a little closer. We'll see. Go ahead and bring in our second page. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in both my mats and another piece of white cardstock. Whenever I start the next page, I always like to look at the photos that are left. So I've decided these photos fit the sketch the best, so what do I have left? And I have 3 photos, and they're all horizontal. And I probably want to do it something like this. So what do I want to bring in from the other side? I for sure want to bring in some red. And I'll probably just put maybe an inch, maybe an inch. These photos will be cut down. I like to have a space between my photos, so I will trim them ever so slightly. And then I want to bring in some green. So I will probably bring in this green and give a big mat, like a 6 1/4 inch mat down the whole page. And then I would like to bring in a strip of the gingham. Not a big strip, maybe just like a 2-inch strip or 2.5 inch strip at the end. Okay, so let's go ahead and start trimming and see what we have going on here. We'll start with the red paper, and we think we want about an inch, so that's easy enough. We can do it on this side. That'll go like that. And then we have our green paper. We want about a 6 1/4 because those photos are 6 inches. We want 6 1/4. We just want a little mat around the photos. And if it's not enough, I can trim my photos if I need to. So that'll go right there. And then next to that, we want a piece of the gingham. So when I did mount this onto the white paper, I did have a chunk left over. So that's going to bring in this 2-inch piece right over here. Okay, and that's how I'm going to lay these out. I'll trim these down like I said. They'll go like this on my mat. So let me go ahead and get this all adhered down and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I've trimmed my photos. I've adhered the paper, but before I adhere the photos, I did want to work on this border. I do want to bring in the green punch again. So let me just move this out of the way and I will get another leafy vine punched out. Okay, so I do want to put it over here, even though it is the same color as that one. But I like it. I'm going to have to trim down the photos just a little bit, but I have room in every photo to do that. So yep, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let me get my mat. If you wanted more of a contrast there, you could bring in maybe a solid green. You can even do these greens in, oh, maybe I should put it to the side here. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Instead of putting it here, I'm going to put it to the side right here. I think I like that better. Okay. And then I'm going to bring back in this sticker strip that I had left, because I did have this red strip, but I also had some holly leaves. So I think what I'm going to do is center this one. Now again, this one's going to be short, but center it right down the center of the leaves and kind of try to recreate the holly berries strip that we had on the opposite page. Okay, so then I'll just take these and put them around in different areas. Let's see, one more right here. And there, I used up a whole strip of ancient Christmas border strips. I like it. Okay, bring this back down so we could see. Okay, so I do want to put something over here to cover up that seam. So I'm thinking, why not another candy cane stripe? Let's see if we like that. Okay, so as I'm putting this down, I have to remember that it needs to be cut somewhere. So on this page, I will cut it right about here, right about here maybe. You know what? Our elements are going to be on the side. Let's go ahead and cut it right down here. And what I'll do to hide this on this page is I will put an embellishment there. That'll be perfect area for an embellishment. Let me get my photos mounted onto the page and get these ones trimmed up a little bit. I'll be right back so we can start embellishing. Hold on. Okay, so we're back. All the photos are adhered down and we are ready to embellish. So let me show you what I have. I did bring in a few of the elements from the Joy to the World collection. I have some embellishments here from my stash, and then I have some older Creative Memory stickers here that I really feel like these go really well with the icon paper. So let's see what we can incorporate. So first thing I want to do is decide on my embellishment cluster areas. If we look at the inspiration sketch, we see that coming off the side over here on this little photo, they had something coming out. So I thought it would be kind of fun to take these holly berries. All of a sudden this turned into a lot of holly berries, and I'm okay with that. But I thought it would be kind of fun to pop those out the side, and that would be my element for that area. And like I mentioned before, the embellishments are going across in a row, and I think I would like to keep that kind of going on the other page as well. And that's why I left that gap right there. And let's see what we can do here. So let's start with this one, because I feel like this is my biggest embellishment area. I kind of want it down here in our lower third, because this is where all of our embellishments are going to be. And let's see if we can tuck that in a bit. Perfect. It says filled with joy. I think that would be great to cover up our little notch in our border strip. Let me bring these back in here. Let's see, put them over here. I have a lot of these Creative Memories, and then stickers to use. Let's look at those. I'm thinking that I kind of like, now on the inspiration sketch, they had a big embellishment here, but I think I have a bigger photo here, so I have to keep that in mind as well. I do like the wreath because, and the stockings, because that's all here in our inspiration, in our icon paper. The poinsettias I'm loving because we are pulling them in everywhere else. And I love this horn. Now this horn reminds me of the bells that they have here. So I think I really want to try and incorporate that. I am going to take the stocking. I love that idea. I'm going to put that down here, and I'm going to take another poinsettia flower and pop it up onto some foam tape and put that right here. So yeah, so I'm loving this layout so far. I hope you are too. In fact, if you are, please go ahead and click that like button. I'd really appreciate it. And thank you for that. It helps to spread my content further. And I think let's get some cards, a scrap of cardstock, and get that horn cut out. Okay, so this is the plan. Take it off of the sheet, put it onto the cardstock, and then I'm gonna just fussy cut it out of the cardstock. Going to give it just a little bit of a white border as I fussy cut around it. There we go. Now I could put some foam on the back of that, and it'll be popped up and it'll look just great. Yeah, I think I am still liking that wreath right there. So let me go ahead and get these embellishments all adhered down, and we'll be right back with some bling and some finishing touches. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Everything is adhered down, and I'm going to bring in some red gems. Since I kind of turned this into a lot of holly berries, I thought it would be nice to go back in and add a little bit of bling. Since it is Christmas, you can add bling to some things, right? So I'm going to come back over here. I decided just to do red. I was kind of just deciding if I should bring in some yellow and some gold tones, but I thought, no, I just want to keep it to the reds. So over here, I'll put one on top of that poinsettia down there, and one on the smaller one as well. Just always a good place to kind of put your gems if you're kind of wondering where you should add them. I'm just going to kind of sprinkle these around in different areas. I think over here, there's a little red dot right there. I'll just cover that up. And same thing with over here. There we go. Just to add just a little bit of sparkle on this one. I think I'm going to tuck it right down in there. Again, I'm trying to keep it all to here. I probably won't come back up there just because I kind of want to keep all the embellishments in one straight line down here. Something different for me than my visual triangle. This one I'm going to tuck in down here, It'll look like a little berry is falling off the leaves there. And then maybe right here to cover up the seam. When I was tucking them, I was trying to overlap them, so that kind of helps hide my seam there a little bit. And then I feel like one more to kind of give me 3 in this area. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. This concludes this video in our series of the 12 days of Christmas. I hope that inspires you to take the 1-page sketch and stretch it into a 2-page layout. And with that, I say happy holidays. Thank you for joining me on my video today, and I'll see you real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.